Welcome to The Voiceover with your host, Dee Foster III, where we discuss relevant topics that affect the culture with bold, independent commentary. Get ready to be inspired, enlightened, and encouraged.
It's Friday and welcome to the Voiceover Now podcast. I'm your host, Dee Foster III, CEO and President of Wake Up Global Networks. You know the spiel at the beginning. Like, share, subscribe, follow. We have a show for you today. Listen, I want to say, I hope you're having a great Friday. I hope you had a great week. If not, we're here to make it better. I want to say at the beginning, thank you so much for all of your loyal support, for all of those of you for the past 6.5 months that have been following us, supporting this channel, supporting Wake Up Global Networks, following us on our social media page, WGNINC, that's on Twitter or X, Wake Up Global Media on Instagram, and Wake Up Global Networks on Facebook, and the Voiceover Pod on TikTok. I want to say thank you. I want to pause before I get into today's show to say we deeply appreciate, think about it, 6.5 months ago, we started this endeavor by faith. And I'm telling you, every week, almost every day, between the Voiceover Now podcast, which you are viewing, between the voice of the believer's voice of hope on Sunday morning, and then the midweek, the Voiceover Today audio podcast, we have been putting in the work, doing the research, doing the recording, doing the filming, doing the editing, sending it to WPB so it can be uploaded. And I want to say thank you. We have tried our very best to give you and to bring you the latest in relevancy in the culture, the latest to update you on what's going on, to inspire you, to educate you, to encourage you, to think for yourself. And I hope that by your standards, we have somewhere near met your standards for what a quality podcast ought to be. I am excited about the season that we are in. I want to hear from you, the voiceovertheglobe at gmail.com, the voiceovertheglobe at gmail.com. Now, needless to say, it's been fun. It's what we're called to do, but it has not been easy. Putting in the late nights, the early morning to make sure we bring you fresh, non-redactatory content where we've done the research, where we've done the study. Now, you might not have always agreed with our commentary, but that's not the purpose of the podcast. The podcast is to put the information out, to give you what I think, how I draw my conclusion, and then, you know what I always say, to cause you to think for yourself. Now, having said that, and always trying to bring you the best quality content of it all, we've always, and I want to say thank you and shout out to April J. She is stellar. She is the CEO and owner of WPB Media Networks, this Black African-American platform that gives so many of us a voice to be heard. I want you to continue to support it. I want you to press the numbers, press the likes, press the shares, press the follows. I want you to encourage her. Listen, this is no easy nor inexpensive endeavor, but she's taken the bull by the horns and she has raised up what I call one of the major mountains of media to give us a platform for our voices to be heard. And I'm telling you, this is a game changer. Having said that, we're always looking for ways to improve our platform, to improve our shows, even when we decided to put more into this show and to kind of eliminate the Wednesday show so that I would have more time to do research and to more time to have interviews. Let me tell you something. If you do it right, and any podcaster will tell you, it is time consuming and it is in-depth involvement. And so I've always, being a researcher, being a thinker, being a studier of truth, have tried to always give my all to every show that I've come in front of you with. And today and tomorrow and next week and next month is no different. Listen, Did you like? Did you share? Did you subscribe? Did you follow yet? If not, please do so. Put this link into your contacts. Having said that, we thought it was best because we know the time is changing, the time it gets dark is changing, that we change also to a later time. People are not walking like they used to when we first started in the spring till 5 and 6 o'clock. People are not out as much. People are more inside. So we decided it is best to push this show back beginning next week to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time instead of 5 p.m. Just 1 hour difference. But it is amazing what 1 hour makes when you talk about people getting home, getting settled, taking care of their personal business. It's Friday, 1 hour. Now, of course, you can always watch this and all of our content on the replays. But some people, they just like the upload of the live. And we appreciate it. You know, there's some things I'm like that too. I'll watch the replay like that's old, but I like the live as the words are coming out, as it's fresh, as it's the first time it's hitting the internet. And so we're going to begin on next week. Share this, like it, let your friends know. 6 p.m. is every Friday instead of 5 is the live upload. And every Sunday morning we're continuing. And I praise God for those of you that are being blessed by the Voice of Hope connection every Sunday morning at 7 a.m. live Eastern Standard Time. We want to thank Veronica Tucker Scott for doing such a great job. On last week, I was challenged in my body and I asked her, could she do it? And she just off the bat says, yes, I'll do it. And so I want to say thank you to her for bringing such an encouraging word to the ethers, to the world through the internet. And I want you to join me this coming Sunday morning as every Sunday we try to bring you a fresh divine word from God that would help us navigate all the difficulties, all the challenges that we would face during the week. So our next week, we're going to go into an in-depth show. I was thinking about this week as I close. I want you to like, subscribe, share, follow. What could I talk about? So much. If I were to do a full podcast today, at first I started to talk about, I said I could talk about Mayor Adams and his unfortunate indictment as the mayor of New York. Unfortunately, I said I could talk about the continued Sean P. Diddy Combs issue and who did Combs tick off for all of this to happen all of a sudden when people have been knowing about this for years. I thought about that. I thought about Keon Henderson, who stuck by in his interview who stuck by his bishop, his father in the spirit, T.D. Jakes, in a latest interview. I think I might deal with that. But then I thought about this. We're coming upon election time. And if you notice, I've not talked in depth on this show about politics. I've hit the candidates, hit and miss, but I've not gone in depth. But the Spirit said, speak on this as you close today's podcast. There's a lot of here and there. There's a lot of talk. There's a lot of sound bites. There's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of toxicity around this election, more than I have ever seen in my life. So I said, Spirit, what can I say about the elections? I cannot and will not endorse any candidates. I cannot and do not tell people how to vote or what they should vote for or what they should vote against. He said, tell them my word. I want you to come close. Tell them Proverbs 29:2. Proverbs 29:2. While you're listening to the media, while you're listening to sound bites, while you're listening to red, blue, or green, while you're taking sides, while you're siding with colors, while you're siding and taking allegiances, just hear this. Let this ring in the middle of your mind. No matter what color you represent, no matter what background, no matter what education, no matter what your economic condition is, No matter whether you are Republican, Democrat, Independent, whatever you are, I want you, as we go along this election, because it's going to be a very rough, up and down, rocky road from here to November. But I want these words from God our Father to ring out to you while you're in the midst of the toxicity and while the 24 news cycle must create stories to keep our attention. Proverbs 29:2, it says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, the people mourn. That's all I wanted to say on this podcast. How do I make my decision? It's simple. When the righteous are in authority, right standing with God, right standing with God's order, right standing with God's structure, regardless of political affiliation, regardless of gender, regardless of race, regardless of background. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. The people laugh. But when the wicked, that is a Hebrew word for twisted, reign, the people mourn. The people are led off, one translation says, as slaves in change. That's all I came to tell you on this podcast as we approach this very toxic electoral season, as there are opinions, even assassination attempts, even character assassinations. In the middle of all of that, allow God's word to rule and reign in your heart. When you go to the polls or you write your choice in, when the righteous are in authority. You said, now who are they? You must determine that. I'm not going to tell you that. I can't tell you that. I can tell you what Proverbs 29:2 says, that when the righteous are in authority, not the black, not the white, not the immigrant, not the Haitian, not the Asian, are in authority. Not the male, not the female are in authority. But when we take off all of those tapestries, and when we look for the righteous, not perfection, the righteous, who's after God's order? You say, well, nobody. Well, that's your answer then, if that's your answer. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. I want to say thank you. I know this has been a partial show, but we're in transition. Next week, we bring the full content. We are bare and loaded. Remember, straight, no chaser. Join me Sunday morning for the Voice of Hope Connection, the live upload at 7 a.m. or of course you can do the replay at any time. Again, I want to say thank you for your support over these last 6.5 months of following, telling people, subscribing, liking, sharing, going to our social media pages. Without you, there could be no us. Have a marvelous weekend. And on the behalf of Wake Up Global Networks, I'm D. Foster III, reminding you that you have a voice. Keep lifting it. Peace.
Thank you for being a part of The Voiceover. Please follow us on all of our social media platforms to stay connected to our upcoming shows and guests. Instagram at The Voiceover Radio. Twitter at DPropheticI. That's the letter D, prophetic, EYE. If this show has enriched you in any way, please share The Voiceover among your circle. Until next time, keep allowing your voice to be heard.